Welcome everyone to the Down Under Diaries. For everyone that's been living under a rock or that hasn't seen me in quite some time and doesn't know, I am going to be spending the next 6 months in Canberra, Australia, at the Australian National University doing an exchange semester for my hopefully last semester of my bachelor's degree. The goal of this podcast is going to be to keep all of my friends and family back home and wherever they may be in the world informed on what's going on and what I'm doing down here. For those that have been around for a long time, you might remember that I used to keep a blog whilst I was doing an exchange year in Sweden. I thought that it would be fun to do that again, but this time slightly differently and in English rather than German. So I decided that this time I'm going to try and do it more podcast style and an audio version. If I have the time, I might try to convert it into text as well for people that do prefer to read rather than listen, but this is going to be at least a trial period of me doing it per audio. Yeah, so I left Switzerland on the 4th of February and I'm going to be here until the middle of July, just for the broad spectrum of what I'm going to do. And now for this first intro to my adventure down under, I just quickly like to talk a little bit about the lead up to my departure, and then everything else will come in different entries basically. So in the lead up to my departure, of course, there was the planning period, which was a very long planning process that started all the way back in the fall of 2022 when we had to apply to the University of Geneva with our plans of which universities we wanted to go to. So yeah, it's been a long time in the making and I'm really excited to finally be here, and I almost can't believe that I'm actually here because for so long it was just theory and planning and so much paperwork, and now I'm here and I am so excited to see what these next 6 months will bring. I have to say I'm really glad that right before I left I was able to see some of my closest friends again, and although it was more work and it added some stress to my last couple of days, it was definitely worth it just to kind of see them again and be able to say goodbye to them properly. But I do have to admit that the night before my departure and right before it was weird because I was feeling so excited that the adventure was finally starting, and at the same time I was so stressed because I wasn't sure whether what I'd imagined and hoped for was going to be reality. And to be honest, in the end I had a little bit of a problem to actually picture what my life here was going to be like, because suddenly I started second guessing everything and I was like, is this really the right choice? How is it everything going to go? And I have to say, now that I'm here and now that I've kind of started to settle in and most of the big hurdles and important things that I had to get done before leaving and after getting here have been completed, I feel a lot calmer about everything and I'm once again a lot more excited. So yeah. And I have to say, I think those last couple of days, hours, I was also kind of starting to feel a little bit numb. And just, I think, because I knew that everything that was going on was a lot. I'm not surprised that maybe my body started to kind of close off those emotions and try not to feel them, because I knew that it was going to be too much. And I think now I've kind of got a couple of days to kind of work through them and really get into it. If you're wondering whether or not I have already realized that I forgot something at home, yeah, to be honest, yes, I did. I started to suspect it during my travels, and then when I came here and unpacked, I realized that I really did forget it. But fortunately, it's not something that is utterly important for right now, because that is my keys for back home, for the front door. Because right before I left, I decided to take a small suitcase for my hand luggage and to put my backpack and everything in there. And I changed the backpack I was bringing, and I had already put the keys inside it, and yeah, after that I did not change the keys, so I think my keys for home are probably somewhere back at home with my parents. But I will worry about that later. It does not matter for the time being, and luckily it's a small thing that isn't very important right now. And even the fact that I don't have a keychain, because one of the most weird things, at least for right now, and I think that's going to take some getting used to, is that all of the doors here in my student accommodation are keycard doors, so I only have a keycard to get in everywhere, and it feels really, really weird. And I wonder how many times this upcoming semester I'm going to forget to take my keycard with me and lock myself out of my room in the process. I hope it's not going to be too often, but for those of you that know me, I do tend to be a bit chaotic and to sometimes forget stuff, so it could very well happen that I will have to go and wake someone to let me into my room because I managed to forget my keys. But yeah, it has not happened so far, which thank God, and I will keep you up to date on that. And I think this concludes this short, or maybe not so short, introduction into the Down Under Diaries, as I've decided to call them, in a very creative move, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm here not to be creative, but to study and to learn and to explore. And so I hope that you will forgive me for this little lack of creativity. But yeah. Anyways, see you next time and have a good day.